you know, there wasn't a lot of horns on that album, but um, I think Frank in some ways kind of wanted to mimic, you know, the Beatles. But again, in the studio, Frank was, you know, I think he liked playing with knobs or whatever. He was always kind of experimenting, and he would just let us get on the microphone, start whispering, and, you know, doing weirdness that would, you know, you couldn't tell exactly what was going on. But it was kind of an endless process of, you could only stay awake so long in the studio, and you know, we were doing that in New York, that there was just, again, a lot of people around all the time, but more so, Frank just liked to discover weirdness that he could add on the album. And any interaction or things that was going on with the band itself, he tried to incorporate on the album. And certainly, I think that whole humorous thing was the album cover to begin with. And we also did, I think it was at that time, where in Life magazine they had a photo shoot of everybody holding a baby, and you know, just, I guess, trying to show people that we were, you know, I don't know what he was trying to do, but it was, I think, for the most part, every day was a new experience as far as, you know, what was going to happen, and also what we were going to do in the studio, because I certainly didn't know. We would just go in there for hours and hours and hours, and okay, come on, let's do, you know, just waiting your turn to try and do something while something else was going on. So again, pretty far out. Again, you know, this goes into the avant-garde area of classical music, where, you know, like John Cage, any kind of sound can be, you know, music, and any way you can produce that sound is okay too. And again, I think that's one of the things that Don always loved doing, and that's what brought Frank around. You know, he loved the avant-garde, and whatever sound that he could get by, I don't even know what word to use, by no, you know, again, you know, taking a piano and doing, you know, weird things to it to create another sound. That was always in everybody's mind, that we're going to get a sound here you haven't heard before, or, you know, something that was really odd, and it usually proved true. And again, that was another aspect I think that Frank really enjoyed, getting a little different sound than he had expected, or just playing with the knobs that created in the studio that. So it was an ongoing situation in the recording studio as to, you know, what was going to come out and how the album was going to sound eventually. After Absolutely Free, we all knew that it was like no holds barred, and if you're going to make a, you know, an asshole out of yourself or whatever, you know, you can't have any inhibitions about, you know, doing stuff like that. And again, that provided enough humor for Frank, regardless of, you know, classical music or whatever. So I think everybody in the band understood, and maybe that's why, again, the band itself had so much fun wherever we went. But, you know, I mean, other people contribute that, because wherever you go, people wanted to take you by the hand and, you know, let's go to a part, whatever, you know, and they just want to hear stories about where you played, and Frank, and, you know, a lot of things that they just wanted to get the inside scoop.